Hello everybody. As a last video of this particular module, we will see how Autosar enables key ADAS functions like autonomous emergency braking and lane centering control. Okay. Now, when it comes to autonomous emergency braking, what is autonomous emergency braking? Well, I'm sure everybody knows it automatically applies brakes when an imminent collision is detected. Now, when it comes to different stages and the Autosar stack breakdown for AEB, in the stage 1, the sensor data acquisition. So, the data from the sensor is acquired and the concerned Autosar stack modules are input output stack, which is IOH WAB. Please refer to the previous video for all these acronyms, and ADC. And the implementation details is standardization interfaces for radar analog signals, and it provides hardware independent sensor readings. Alright, so this is what this particular stack implements. When it comes to object detection planning, the stack which takes up the role is system services. And what does it do? It does the real-time scheduling of object detection algorithms and multi-core task allocation for neural networks. And third is collision risk calculation, and which is the stack which takes care of this? It is the communication stack, both the communication COM stack and the PDU or stack. And what does it implement? It fuses the data, camera data, fuses radar and camera data via the PDU router and low latency signal transmission between ECUs. Alright, and when it comes to brake actuation command, the concerned stack is input output stack, and what does it implement? PWM signals control brake by wire actuators and digital outputs engage hydraulic pump. Now coming to fail safe monitoring and security assurance, the concerned stacks respectively are system services and crypto stack. And watchdog verifies AEB completes within 50 milliseconds, and diagnostic event manager DEM logs AEB actuation failure if timeout occurs. Now coming to the security assistance, the crypto stack authenticates radar data to prevent spoofing attacks. Now, what is this critical timing requirement? Now, this is very important because this autonomous emergency is a ASIL 4 level functionality, because failing of this may lead to fatality or severe injuries. That is why it is ASIL level 4, and that is the reason why it is having a very critical time. Now, to elaborate further, AEB must complete the sensor to actuation loop within 100 milliseconds, and Autosar ensures this via deterministic OS scheduling and direct signal routing and also hardware accelerated cryptography. Alright, so deterministic operating system scheduling, microsecond level task switching, and direct signal routing is also PDUR bypasses unnecessarily layers, and hardware accelerated cryptography is SECOC authentication in less than 2 milliseconds. Lane centering control, and when it comes to lane centering control, it automatically adjusts steering to maintain lane position. Okay, now to further elaborate in the stack perspective, the first stage is camera image processing, which is taken care by the complex device drivers. Alright, because of the huge data, it does not go through all the layers and it always interacts through complex device drivers. It bypasses Autosar layers for direct GPU access and achieves 60 FPS image processing. Now, when it comes to lane detection algorithm, the responsibility is memory stack, and it implements, stores lane model parameters like curvature and width, and FEE handles frequent calibration updates. Please refer to the previous video for this FEE acronym. Next comes the steering command generation. The communication stack CANIF and COM are extremely important when it comes to steering command generation, and it implements sending steering angle via CANFD and COM layer normalizes signal for EPS ECU. Coming to the actuator control, it is the input output stack. PWM controls electric power steering motor, ICU monitors steering torque feedback. So let's see the next stage. It is the driver override detection. Alright, this driver override detection, the concerned stack is the system services, and what does it do? It disables lane, the LCC, the lane centering control, if the driver applies more than 5 Newton meter steering torque. Alright, so if the driver applies more than 5 Newton meter steering torque, then it disables the LCC, it disables the action of the lane centering control. And FIM manages function inhibition hierarchy. Alright, now coming to the diagnostic compliance, the system services like diagnostic event manager, the diagnostic communication manager, these records the LCC camera occlusion events, and DCM provides UDS access for dealership diagnostics. Now what is the redundancy mechanism? What is the redundancy mechanism? Autosar enables dual channel validation, and primary path is camera, GPU, CAN FDU and EPS. So the backup path is ultrasonic sensors, which comprise of the ADC, next safe operating system SAS and the redundant CAN. In case you don't understand these things, once you understand the Autosar very clearly, then all these things will automatically fall in the place. Okay, as I suggested in the previous video, mastering Autosar is an enormous task in itself, and once you get into Autosar, once you pursue a career in ADAS and you get into Autosar vertical, all these things are very important and you will automatically learn all these things. But as of now, you please note down and you just check in the Google to further learn in an elaborate manner. Now let's have a brief comparative analysis of automatic emergency braking versus lane centering control Autosar utilization. So when it comes to requirement and when it comes to latency criticality criteria, AEB solution has a very extreme 100 milliseconds latency. Okay, but when it comes to LCC, it is slightly moderate because it is not exactly a fatality critical functionality. And what is the key Autosar differentiator? OS scheduling policies. And when it comes to sensor type, the radar plus camera and camera IO stack versus CDD approach. Actuation method, brake by wire, EPS, communication plus IO synergy. And safety integrity is SLD, SLB and FIM. Okay, you understand why this is SLD and LCC is SLB. I am sure if you have gone through the session about this functional safety, you will clearly understand. Now FIM and watchdog manager configurability, this is the key Autosar differentiator. Now when it comes to update frequency, well, AEB solution has a very rare algorithm update, but it has a more frequent update because calibration is required more for this. And what is the key Autosar differentiator? It is the non-volatile memory and also the versus the FEE strategies, FEE strategy. Now when it comes to emerging ADAS needs versus Autosar evolution, the sensor fusion challenges or the below. The Autosar adaptive introduces ARA COM for Ethernet based multi-sensor fusion, multi-sensor data fusion, and AI ML integration is CDD extensions, complex device driver extensions now support the TensorFlow Lite microcontrollers, and memory stack enhancements for the neural network parameter storage. Now one more important challenge is about the cyber security. And when it comes to cyber security, new crypto stack modules for in-vehicle intrusion detection and quantum resistant encryption. Frankly speaking, these are very state-of-art technologies. Okay, Frank, and to productionize these things, or by the time these two in-vehicle intrusion detection and quantum resistant encryption are totally productionized, it may take another 5 years. But these are emerging technologies on which extensive research is going on. So it's just matter of time they become a part and parcel of the vehicle. So it's better for you to know these things. Now, in conclusion, why is Autosar indispensable for ADAS? Why is like Autosar so important in the ADAS perspective? Okay, so first is certification ready. When it comes to Autosar, it has a built-in support for ISO 26262. Whether you want to select a ADAS ASIL A functionality or ASIL D functionality, it has a certification ready stacks available in the Autosar. And next comes the vendor interoperability. The standardized interfaces allow Bosch radars to work with Continental ECUs. This is just for example, Bosch radars to work with Continental ECUs, and even the converse and vice versa holds good. Continental radars can work with Bosch ECUs also. That is why this Autosar is so important. And when it comes to life cycle management, from prototype to AI driven, this Autosar is very indispensable and it plays a very important major role. Now coming to practical example, a Tesla style navigate on pilot system uses classic Autosar. It also uses adaptive Autosar and also combined crypto stacks for OTA updates plus V2X security. Especially these crypto stacks are extremely important for OTA updates. What is the meaning of OTA? Over there, I have a separate session or separate module in this tutorial meant for OTA or over the air. And over the, not only about the over the air, I am going to clearly explain in that particular module the importance of over the air in ADAS perspective. Alright, so this classic Autosar for braking and steering actuation, adaptive Autosar for AI decision making, and combined crypto stacks for OTA updates plus V2X security. Thank you for your patient listening.